Are you away to run your first marathon, or maybe you're someone who is thinking about signing up to run their first marathon and you're finding the whole thing a little bit daunting? Well guys, I know how you feel, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips that I wish I knew before I run my first marathon. What is up guys, my name is Jamie Stewart. Welcome to Run With Style, where I make and share running videos every week. Please consider subscribing and smash that bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Just to give you some context guys, I've run 3 marathons in the past, with my first one being back in 2010 where I took on the Loch Ness Marathon. Now I'm in no way, shape or form an elite marathon runner or even a good marathon runner. I'm one of the mid-pack marathon runners where I just try to get myself round. I'm quite happy just plodding along and getting to the finish line, because you'll know running a marathon is a huge undertaking and it is a long way folks. So today let me share with you my top 5 tips that I wish I knew before I run my first marathon. Tip number 1, please do not wear any new running gear on race day. Guys, if you're planning on getting yourself some new gear for running the marathon, please make sure that you get it way in advance and use it through your training, so when it comes to the marathon that you're all set, you're all prepared, you're not thinking about, oh I've got some new running shoes today, and you're thinking, oh is my feet going to get blisters or sores. Make sure you use your gear during your training, and that way when you turn up on race day you will have nothing to worry about. Tip number 2, number 2, you get it? Make sure you go for a number 2, because guys, the last thing you want to do is get out there and man, you don't want that. Because you'll think that you don't want to go, but trust me, once you set off and you're into it, you certainly will. So guys, make sure before the race that you go to the bathroom and take your number 2. Tip number 3, Vaseline will become your best friend, trust me. Because when I turned up to my first marathon at Loch Ness in 2010, I got off the bus, we went to the side of the road, I put my bag down where I was getting everything sorted out, I was having a little bit of my banana, and then I got out my little tub of Vaseline to, you know, put on the delicate areas, should we say. And the guy next to me started laughing and said, "Is this your first marathon?" To which I was like, "Yeah, it is." And he says, "I thought that." And he goes, "Here you go, try this," because you'll need it. Guys, make sure you get a tub of this and make sure that you get it on all the areas that you know are going to rub, especially gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about. Just get it in there, because man, you do not want to get to the end of the race and feel uncomfortable and have all sorts of sore bits. You've seen people coming over the finish line with bleedy nipples and things like that. Pretty horrible. So guys, make sure that you got plenty of Vaseline. Tip number 4, make sure that you dress for the second mile. And what do I mean about dressing for the second mile? Before the race, it may be cold and you're going to be layered up and you're going to be thinking, oh, it's a cold day. But guys, once you set off, you're going to warm up so quickly that then you're going to be thinking, oh, I've got all these layers on, what am I going to do? I've got a really nice Under Armour top that I don't want to throw away, or anything that's like that. So, but before the race, by all means, make sure that you keep yourself warm. What most people do before the race, guys, to keep warm, once they've loaded their bags up onto the truck, they normally bring a back bin liner with them, which they can put over themselves and shelter themselves from the elements, from the wind and the rain, and keep themselves warm that way. Even if you have an old t-shirt or an old jumper, or you might have an old hat, gloves that you're willing to be able to throw away during the race, then by all means do that. Tip number 4, make sure you dress for the second mile. Tip number 5, and probably the most important tip of them all, make sure you Smile, have fun, because guys, you are doing something amazing. And if you're doing something like London or some big marathon, then make sure that you take it all in, guys. Because I did the London Marathon in 2012 and I got injured pretty much 11 miles into the race. But I remembered that I was doing the London Marathon and all the people that have come out to watch, and the support from the crowd and everything. You couldn't help but smile. You couldn't help but get through. Kids giving you high fives, people handing you out jelly beans and all that fun stuff. Just enjoy it. It is a tough day. It will be the toughest day probably you'll ever have physically if it's your very first one. But honestly, once you see that finish line, remember, smile when you're going over and just embrace it, guys. I hope these tips will help make your first marathon a far less daunting experience. If there's any other tips that I haven't covered in today's video, then leave them down in the comments and share them with the community. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Get out there, run with style, and I shall see you in the next video. Jamie, out.